Josh Long launch their fishing boat, their fun day out turns terrifying.
Hey, we're drifting.
A powerful riptide has swept them out to the ocean in an unseaworthy boat with no food, water, or cell phones.
Talk? Come get us soon. Don't worry, okay?
Now, I told Troy, I said, they're going to come look for us. They're going to find us. So I was like, and I told him, I'm just going to fish, while we're waiting.
Shark fishing. Come on, man. You money rod.
Right as I got the pole rigged up and I stood up to cast it, a wave hit the side of the boat and knocked me over, and I knocked over my brand new fishing pole in the water.
No, my new pole! No!
He lost his brand new pole, and that really ticked him off a lot, and he pretty much lost it.
Everything I did was get, screwed somehow that day. It was definitely one of my temper tantrums.
Whoa! Cool it, man. This isn't gonna help, is it? Shut up, man.
I knew he lost the fishing pole, but that was the least of my worries. I was like, hey man, listen, this isn't what we need to do right now. You don't need to be cussing. You don't need to be throwing stuff. We need to be here as a team. We came in it together, and we were going to go out together.
Crazy, man. You're losing your mind on me. Come on, man. Crazy.
As dusk falls, and with no sign of rescue, the boys begin to take stock of their situation.
Yeah. When are they gonna come? I know, George. How will they find us? I don't know. Well, they don't know where we are. What's gonna happen then? We're just gonna drift around in the ocean at night? Yeah. Shut the hell up.
I was telling him, I was like, Troy, we're going out here for, one day. I said, they're going to realize tonight that we didn't come home, and they're going to be out here the next morning.
Okay.
I knew it wasn't good, We don't see land. We don't have a cell phone. We don't have food or water. But it's the first, couple hours into the trip, so somebody's going to realize, okay, the boys are not home. Something's not right. When we need to go look for them.
They're coming. I know they're coming.
The boys haven't been seen for over 10 hours. And back on shore, Josh's father calls for help.
Hello, is that the Coast Guard station? I want to report my son and his best friend missing.
They were saying, where did the boys put in at? That was their first question. They want to know the description of the boys and where they would put the boat in.
We have no idea where they went. No, they didn't say a thing.
The Coast Guard can't mount a search until they know exactly where the boat was launched from. So Josh's father now begins his own search to find where the boys might have entered the water.
I had no idea where the boys were at, and very, very concerned that we haven't heard anything, no calls, and we kept searching until past 4 o'clock in the morning.
But Josh's father is unsuccessful, and no search is mounted that night. Out at sea, things are getting serious. The two boys are still drifting in their tiny boat. Alone, they face their first night out on the ocean in the middle of a storm.
The first night, I barely slept. We were very, very cold.
Strong waves begin to batter the tiny boat, and the temperature plummets to below 32 degrees.
Hurry in too fast. All right.
When a wave would come, it would pull that side of the boat down, and water would come over. It felt like ice hitting you. freezing to death.
Now keep moving. Keep moving, okay?
Couldn't feel our hands. We were shivering. We pretty much, we had to cuddle with each other, just for body heat. It was that bad.
Suffering the extreme nighttime cold makes the boys realize just how much peril they're in. Panic turns to terror as they face up to the reality that their lives are in real danger.
The first night was filled with a lot of emotion. Our mood, went from being, okay, we're going to get rescued to, okay, why are we still here? There should have been a boat, there should have been a helicopter, what's going on?
When we looked out that morning, there was nothing. We realized that we were, so far off that we were going to, the land was now out of the option.
I did a 360 as I twisted around and saw nothing but waves and ocean. And there's nowhere to go.
After a night shivering in freezing temperatures, Josh and Troy now endure over 70 degrees of relentless heat.
We had no shade. Anybody who knows, who's been in salt water and their clothes dry after being wet, it's really crusty, salty. It was wear and tear on our skin.
Every so often I'd get in the water. Just basically cool off in the water.
We swim around and got our mind off of the situation.
Oh, cool! Oh, yeah.
But the boys are swimming in waters infested with sharks.
All of a sudden we look down and there's a shark that raced up and hit the boat.
Teenagers Troy Driscoll and Josh Long have been stranded at sea for 2 days. And now they discover that they're in shark-infested waters.
Down and the water was so clear there was a shark. It was a good size. It was about 7-8 feet, and there was a few of them just circling under our boat. So we were like, that's it. We're not jumping in no more.
Back on land, the Coast Guard has made a breakthrough. Josh's car has been found by the ocean's edge.
We need the key, sir.
They opened up the glove box. They found both their cell phones and their wallets.
Knowing where the boys entered the water, the Coast Guard can now mount a full-scale search.
How do you know they're actually in this area?
Sir, let me show you. Okay, what we've done is we've taken our computer models and we calculate that the boat could not have gone any further than here.
I was concerned, but I was very confident that day we would find them. That, with all this effort, with all these planes, with all the helos out there, that we were going to find these boys that day. I just almost had no doubt that they were going to be found that day.
But the boys have already drifted 90 miles further north beyond the Coast Guard search area. Out at sea, Josh and Troy are fading fast. They've drunk no water for over 24 hours and are experiencing severe dehydration. Their bodies have lost over 3 pints of fluid, causing muscle cramps, headaches, and extreme disorientation. They are desperate for something to drink.
Very hot. There's pretty much no clouds in the sky. As the day progressed on and it got hotter, the water was very clear. Our mouths became drier and we were just thirsty. So it was almost tempting to drink.
So Troy and I decided, hey, we'll gargle it and spit it back out. And that way you have something wet in your mouth, and it'll kind of, it's cold, so it'll help us a little bit, but we won't swallow it.
It wasn't good, but just have something cold in your mouth. That's all we needed.
The boys know that drinking the salty seawater will dehydrate them even further. But they're now so desperate, they find it impossible to resist.
It was horrible. I mean, it's a bad day when you know that's the only thing you have to drink. But what you're drinking's killing you and hurting you.
Weakened by dehydration, the boys are also suffering the extremes of weather. Nighttime brings another severe drop in temperature, and with no protection against the biting cold, the boys have only each other's body heat to keep themselves warm.
We gotta stay up. We gotta keep ourselves dry. Let's cuddle. Let's talk to each other. Let's communicate. Let's make sure we're okay.
Say it with me.
As they wake on the third morning, a ray of hope finally appears on the horizon.
It looked like a matchbox boat, so little.
A fishing boat is passing just 100 yards away. The end of their ordeal is now surely only moments away.
We yelled at the top of our lungs. Try to get somebody to see us, But it was like a needle in a haystack. We were so small.
They just turned and kept on going.
Come on! Why don't they see us?
It was good to see something else. But, they didn't stop, so, we lost a lot of hope.
The boys begin to realize how unlikely it is that they will be spotted in the vast ocean.
We knew that there was no way they were going to find us because the ocean's so big. And if they hadn't found us yet, they weren't going to find us.
And how helpless their situation now is.
You're in the hands of the ocean, and you can't do anything about it. It's either you're going to suck it up, and you're going to try to survive and hang in